We're going to start out in Romans chapter 11 today, and I just want to read something out of there. Jason came to me, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago with this PowerPoint presentation, which I thought was pretty awesome. So I was like, you know what? God, it struck a chord with me because it's somewhere I'd been before in my spiritual walk and as a pastor, and it struck this chord of the great I am, and what and who He is and what that means, and how so often we try to make Him really small instead of the great I am. So as I do this today, I want you to bear that in mind. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about something that looks like us. We're not talking about, we say He, we say it like it's a person up there. We say it like we can describe it or like we can contain who He is, and all of these things. We have an idea of God, but it's just like that square up there. We have no idea. We can't look upon Him. We can't be in His presence and not like just be, I don't know. But what I'm saying, we can't make Him small is what we can't do. And that's what I'm going to try to do today, is kind of let you see, not only is it an amazing honor that we have the privilege of having a relationship with God, but it's miraculous that He would be concerned with our little bitty lives on this little bitty planet in His big old creation. And so let's go with that. Romans chapter 11, verse 33 says, "Oh, how great are God's riches in wisdom and knowledge. How impossible it is for us to understand His decisions and His ways." It's right there. It's impossible. You can't understand God's decision, His ways. So many of us try to explain it. I do time after time. I stand before people a lot of times and I try to explain why God does the things He does. And the thing is right here, He says, it's impossible to explain it. So impossible. It's impossible for us to try to comprehend His ways or explain them out. We just have to trust in Him. It's like His decisions are way beyond us. For who can know the Lord's thoughts? No one. These are all rhetorical questions. Nobody can know the Lord's thoughts. Who knows enough to give Him advice? Anybody ever try to do that? You got. If how long the world would last if I was God? You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. But all of us think we know what's best for our life, right? And how many can stand here today and say, man, I'm so thankful that God didn't answer that prayer that I prayed. I know Jason knows it. Where's Jason? The old Garth Brooks song? One of God's greatest gifts. There you go. See? Y'all know it. There's some country folks in here. One of our greatest gifts is when He don't answer prayers sometimes, right? And sometimes we just don't. We don't have the advice to give Him. And who has given Him so much that He needs to pay it back? And that's our biggest thing. God, man, look what I do for you. Excuse me? Right? It's crazy. For everything comes from Him and exists by His power and is intended for His glory. Let me read that again. Everything comes from God. Everything. Nothing's left out. Everything comes from Him and exists by His power and is intended for His glory. Everything. God is everything. He is everywhere. And everything we have, everything we do, everything in this world exists because of Him and for His glory. I created it to glorify me. Everything in this earth and everything outside of it. Can we maybe start by saying today together that God has this with or without us? Can we say that? 1, 2, 3. God has this with or without us. He is inviting you today. But whether you choose to join or not, He's got it. I think we need to realize that. He wants you. He created you with purpose, with divine purpose. We've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. I'm going somewhere with everything. God's going somewhere with me with this. But what he's explaining to me is I designed and created you for and with purpose. And I want to use you and I love you and I do this. But you know what? If you choose to walk away, I still got it. And I got 6 billion others that I can try to work on. The world doesn't revolve around us. It just doesn't. He wants us. He loves us. but God's got it with or without us. God is number one. He's first. He's the biggest. He's the greatest. He's the smartest. He's the richest. And if I was talking about me or any other human being, I'd be a real jerk right now. And I would be very, very prideful. My ego would be out the roof. But talking about God, he wouldn't be God if he wasn't. God is everything. There's nothing that you can get past him. There's nothing that you can create that's bigger than him. There's nothing bigger than God. The world does not revolve around mankind. We're just here for the ride. But we are unique in all creation. All creation reflects God. We are created in his image. Everything he created besides us. And I've said this many, many times. I believe that us being made in the image of God is not because we have his hair color, or not because we have his eye color, or not because our legs are shaped like his, or we have his forehead. I think our likeness of God is the fact that we have the ability to choose. That we have the ability to choose. Nothing else in creation does. When a flower spurts up out of the ground, it blooms and blossoms and it gives glory to God the whole time. When a bird is born, it starts singing his praises and it never stops. It works hard, it does its business, it does what it's supposed to do, and it glorifies God the entire time. Trees do the same thing, planets do the same thing, stars do the same thing, so do moons. They just glorify God with everything they are. Yet we have 6 billion people on this earth and very few of us decide to glorify him with our life. We have the ability to choose to do that. And why he did that, I'll never know. It's almost, I said it before, I'm not making little of God. It's like this sick game. Like, I want these people to love me on their own. I want these people, my prized creation, the apple of my eye, to just desire me for me. And not for what I can do, not for what but because I'm a mighty God. I want them to glorify me like the universe does. I want them to glorify me like my son did. I want them to glorify me in everything that they are. But I want them to choose to. I want them to give me my love. It's almost like me being like buying somebody and saying, you know what, I'm going to pay you $1 million a year to love me. And they, oh, I love you every day. They tell me how nice I look every day. They walk around and ask me what I need to do for them every day. And I hear it constantly, but I'm paying them to say it. And I think that's how God is with us. He's like, I don't want you to love me because I make you. I want you to love me because you choose to. And that's God, and that's us. That's why we're unique in all creation. That's why he put us here on this little planet. God created the earth to reflect himself. He placed us in the middle of it after he created it. God got everything perfect. He got everything a direct mirror to reflect who he is, his creation to be exactly what he wanted it to be, and then he decided to create man. He didn't get man here and say, how do you want this decorated? He said, I've got it like exactly how it needs to be. Now I'm going to place you here. He put us in the middle of his creation, and that's what we have to choose. And then, in spite of everything that he did for us, providing everything that we needed, speaking of Adam and Eve, they go in there and they can't stand it. They want to be his equal. They want to have the knowledge that he has. They want to be disobedient. And they say, I want to be God's equal. And what we became at that moment was a traitor race. What we became is something that God created that rebelled against him for the first time since Satan. Something he said, something he did, one thing, please do not do, we chose to do. So we became this rebel. And throughout history, we've become a traitor race. He's tried, he flooded, he did this, he sent that, he sent the prophets, he did this, and finally we come up to this point of saying, okay, God, are you going to destroy this race of people again that you created? Or what? He says, you know what? I'm going to send my son. So that's what he did, and we get to the cross. And for us, we have that redemption, and he's not going to do it again. It was his last act of what he was going to do to save this race of people that he loves so much, he tells us time and time again, that he put on this earth, that he did the things, everything that he did for. He said, I'm going to give you this last way out. And he sent his son. And we try so often to make that story so small by inviting God into our life, into our story, by asking him to fix our stuff instead of coming to him and saying, God, please just let me be part of what you're doing. I don't care what that looks like. I don't care what that means for my life. I don't care what I have to give up. I don't care that I might have to sacrifice some stuff. I don't care what that might look like in any part of my life, God. I just want to be part of your plan. No, we ask God to be part of ours. God, I need you on this. I need you in this investment. I need you in this sickness. I need you in this. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Instead of, God, I just need you. And I'll give everything that looks like to be with you. To just come to him and realize who he is. To realize that we are not inviters. That he is the one and only inviter. He is the only one who invites us into something. And I want to try to do something today. And I'm going to do it really quick. I did it 4 or 5 years ago. And I tried to copy Louis Giglio. And I really couldn't do it well. But I think there's a really good concept behind what he's doing. And in a presentation that he made. So I kind of found some pictures. And I just want to kind of right-size God tonight. So don't get overwhelmed by what I'm fixing to start saying. Well, we got our slides ready, Justin. I want to show you a few slides. All right. Does anybody know what that is? That is a galaxy. Specifically, that's our galaxy. That's our neighborhood. That's where we live. That is the Milky Way galaxy. Let me say something really quick. In Psalm 19, the heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship. That's pretty beautiful, huh? Day after day, they continue to speak. Night after night, they make him known. They speak without a sound or a word. Their voice is never heard, yet their message has gone throughout the earth, and their words to all the world. That's the Milky Way galaxy. If you don't know anything about the Milky Way galaxy, it contains an upwards of like 400 billion stars. You know what our sun is? It's a star. 400 billion around that galaxy. And that's where we live. And some of y'all are bored already. You're like, I didn't come to science class today. I don't really want to know about all this stuff. But I think it's really cool. Go to the next slide. That is where our sun is. That is our galaxy put up sideways just like this. And our sun in our galaxy is about right where that arrow is right there. You can't see it. You can't see our sun. It's among hundreds of billions of other suns or stars. It's not in the middle, as you can see. We think we're the center of our universe, but we're not even the center of our own galaxy, of our own neighborhood. We're just in our little cul-de-sac right there that you can't even see from an image. Much less, if you can't see the sun, you're definitely not going to see the planet Earth. So we're kind of in the middle of that. Have I lost everybody yet? We still together on this? Has it already gotten, you know what, I'm past that? Now let me ask this question, because this is something I've ran into before, and I just didn't. Do y'all even believe this is real? Some people are like, that stuff's not even real. That's just for the movies. That's what the Star Trek and stuff. No, that's real. I want you to understand that. If you believe anything, that's really there. And that's pretty much what it looks like. So that's where our sun is in our galaxy. Go to the next slide. Y'all know what this stuff is? This is our cul-de-sac. That right there is the sun. You see how big that is? Yeah, you can't even see that on that other picture, but you see how big it is compared to everything else in our solar system? Okay, well that's it. We're the third planet up. You see the Earth? That's where you live. All right? And if you are in outer space and looking, it's very pretty. It is. It's nice. And it's in the perfect spot. I'm not going to go into all that. I didn't want to do all the research on it. But I wanted us to kind of see, can I be honest? I just kind of want to see, what I want you to notice is, first of all, we're 3 planets up, and I want you to look, because the next picture is really important. You see the next planet's Mars, and of course they're not really lined up like this, but this gives us an idea. The next planet's Mars, the next planet's Jupiter, and the next one is Saturn, okay? You see that? This next picture I'm about to show you is a real picture. This is not something that was made up. This next picture is a picture that was taken from the Voyager 1. Everybody ever know what that was? It was launched in 1977, and it was launched in outer space to take pictures, to kind of do this research on different planets. Let's go to the next one. Anybody want to guess what that is? Yes. Anybody ever seen this picture before? It's a pretty popular picture. It's named a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. That's the name of that picture. And this picture was taken from Voyager 1 when it was passing by the planet Saturn. Okay? Isn't that cool? This thing, it came back, and it gave, this is the image that it gave. And it actually, you can't really see it good on that, but it's actually a streak right there. And they named it, it said it was in a sunbeam, but it was actually just a glare on the lens of the camera, because there's no way, it's not, anyway, you understand what I'm saying. There's no way it could have been, but that's what they ended up naming it, this pale blue dot. That's the Earth, and that is just from 3 planets away. You can't even hardly see it, can you? You cover it up with your finger. You can do whatever you want to do. It's not even hardly there. And this is a cool thing. Go to the next one. This is a little bit clearer picture. This is kind of what it would actually look like if it was in a realistic picture. Am I bored? Are y'all bored yet? Okay, good. Because I just got a couple more, and then I'm going to get back to what I'm making a point here, okay? All right. If that Saturn right there, the big thing that you're seeing, that's what our planet would look like from there on a realistic scale. If the sun was shining on it just right and you could see it, that's what our little blue dot would look like. And every human being that's ever taken a breath that God's given them has been on that little bitty dot that just 3 planets away almost looks like it doesn't even exist. Right? Isn't that cool? Okay, I'm making another point. Go to the next one. You know what that is? It could be a bunch of them. It's a nebula, but it's the Ring Nebula. It's a dying star. It's this gas that it puts out. And this is a really famous one because it's really pretty, and guess what else? It looks like an eye. Kind of like, God's like, I got you, right? He's still looking at us out there. There's all kind of things out in the universe that look like eyes. I'm losing y'all. But this is a Ring Nebula. And this is the point I'm trying to make. Okay? The Ring Nebula is 2,000 light years away. Yeah, I know you're like, okay, that's so. Right, what is that, like to California or something? No. Actually, I'm going to explain a light year to you. Light travels. Anybody know how fast light travels per second? Somebody know? Do you? Second. That's right. That's good. That's smart. How did you know that? You got that much knowledge, useless knowledge? No, necessarily. I know if it was a bullet ballistic, I would expect you to know it. But the speed of light, I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's right. It's really fast. 186,000 miles per second. That's fast. You know how fast that is? The Earth's circumference is 25,000 miles. If you were to set light out right here and go around the world, if it actually traveled in a circle instead of a straight line, it would go around the world 7.5 times in 1 second. That's fast, right? That is fast. Light is fast. Well, to come up with a measurement for space for God's neighborhood, they had to come up with something different. So what they decided to do is take light travel, which travels 186,000 miles per second, and see how far that travels in a year, which is what, 5? You know that, Lee? You know that one? I wouldn't know it either. But light travels 5.88 trillion miles in a year. Y'all still got y'all's mind wrapped around this? I know. It's big, right? Light travels 5.88 trillion miles in 1 year. And that's called a light year. All right? That's a light year. If you got in a car and went 186,000 miles per second for 2,000 years, that's where you'd be. It's pretty cool, huh? Still not getting it. Okay, go to the next one. That's the Ring Nebula again. Both of those pictures are. But I'm going to focus on this one. See where the line is? I want us to be on this side. Do you see that arrow? I'm really pushing this point home, y'all. Do you see the arrow? Do you see the little light-looking thing up under it? I forgot the name of it. I was doing good. That galaxy is called IC 1296. Guess how far that is? I can tell you this. It's got hundreds of billions of stars in it. That little spot right there has hundreds of billions of stars, just like our galaxy does. You know how far it is? Hubble telescope, if you're wondering where this comes from, it's powerful. 200 million light years away. 200 million, if you went 5.88 trillion miles a year for 200 million years, you get to IC 1296. Completely lost everybody at this point. You can't, everybody's like, whatever. Then a lot of us have leaned towards the side of, this stuff ain't real. That stuff ain't really out there. But it is. And this is the point that I'm trying to make with all this, okay? I was going somewhere the entire time. God says, I made that. The great I am breathes this stuff into existence. It's all glorifying me. It's all who I am. And it's all what I do. God is so big, y'all. When we try to focus him in, when we try to put him into this one little box that we want to create and we want him to be, he's got to tell us. He's got to be who he is. He's got to say, I don't fit there. Do you not realize what I am? That I am, that I am, that I am the great I am, that I am everything, that I sustain everything, that I just set stuff like that in motion. And why do I do it? Lights. I just do it because it glorifies me and it's who I am and it's what I do. That's who he is. And he says, you know what? I created you. Yet I have all of these things. Am I making a dent in what I'm trying to say? He's worth it. He's bigger than anything you can imagine. He's better than anything you've ever dreamed. He's more powerful than anything you can try to muster in your mind. He's bigger than any prayer that you can even think to pray. And all he says is just pray for my will in your life. Quit praying all this mess that you're praying and just pray that the great I am, the one who controls and contains all of this stuff, will breathe life into you. Imagine God in that sense. He sends his son, and then on the heels of that, he invites you to be part of his plan. This God, the one who created all of these things, sends his son to this little speck in the universe. You can't even see our sun, much less our planet, even in our galaxy. And there's just another little tidbit of information. There's hundreds of billions of galaxies out there just like ours in the known universe. And God's just waiting for us to build something bigger so he can show us more. He's like, I got a whole lot more that you've never seen. Keep building the bigger telescopes and I'll keep showing you more of my glory. I'm huge. I'm bigger than you can imagine. And I'm better than anything you could ask for. And yet I sent my son for you. You're my chosen creation. You're the one I chose to make in my image. You're the one that I care so deeply about that I sent my only son. Oh man, is it getting through? Is it penetrating anything? This calloused heart that we put around us to realize that we think our world revolves around us. It's bigger than us. It's got to be bigger than us. We have a choice today to continue to live these small lives that so many of us live so many times. These meaningless little lives that completely revolve around us. They revolve around our feelings, our wants, our needs, our desires. And our prayers revolve around our wants, our needs, our desires. They're small little bitty things. Or we can embrace a radical thought of becoming part of God's plan. That he loves us. That he is control of all these things. He has control of all these things, but he loves us. If that's true, if you are being invited into relationship, into partnership with the creator of the heavens and the earth, what could ever compare to that? You think you can get a promotion on your job that's going to be better than what God's inviting you into today? You think you can get a raise, or you think you can get into a relationship, or that you can meet somebody? You know what? This is the craziest thing in the world to me. Pick your favorite thing in the world today. Whatever it is. Maybe you're a politician and you like nothing more in the world than to meet the President of the United States. If he called you today, invited you to lunch, would you miss it? I said if you were a politician or somebody who liked that kind of stuff. Whatever you love, whatever in the world. Say you want nothing more than somebody to invest in your business and promote you, and Trump called you, or somebody even way more powerful than him called you and said, you know what, I want to invest in your company today. I got hundreds of billions of dollars that I can invest, and I'm looking at your company. Well, you think you would miss your lunch with him today? You think you would miss, if he told you need to do this, this, and this, you think, see, that's the problem. We look at things in this world and we're like, you know what, I would never miss nothing like that. Yet the creator of all things, the creator of the universe, invites you into an intimate relationship with him where he can control your life and do all things that he created you to do. And he's the giver of all things. He's the sustainer of all things. Everything was made for him and by his hand and for his glory. And yet you say, maybe next week. Maybe not, maybe not. Is it registering what God is in your mind? What else could ever compare to meeting God? To having a relationship with God? What could you accomplish? Many of us come to church to accomplish something, to fix something. What are you going to fix that's better than meeting the great I am? You know, I got to something that Jason put up there in Exodus chapter 3. And I can imagine the burning bush and Moses and even the thought that God came down into that form and met with Moses, and he was like, you know what, go free my people. Moses was like, you know what, nah, can't do it, can't talk well, can't speak well. People over there already hate me. They say I murdered one of their people, and they already know who I am, and if I go back there, I'm going to die. You don't understand. And even if I could stand before the Pharaoh without getting killed, I got this problem with my speech. I just can't do it. And God's like, you know what, that's why you're my man. That's why I need you. All the angels met in heaven, and they're like, no way, there's plenty of people that are more qualified than this guy. Look at what he's done. He's a murderer. He's this, that, or the other. He can't even talk good. Why are you going to use him? And he's like, that's why I'm going to use him, because he can't do it on his own, but I can do it through him. He said, I want that guy because everybody will know that he came in my name, because he just can't do it. I know that all of y'all think it's a better way. I know that everybody who has any sense thinks that I could pick a better guy than this guy who's out here herding sheep. But I've got a plan for his life, and it is to glorify me. It is to save my nation, my chosen people, and I want to use him. He's the last in the line, but he's my first pick. I want to use that guy. I have to use that guy. And he came before God. And he said, I can't do this. He said, I can. I can't do this. I can. Well, what about this? I got it. I just need you to be obedient. I just need you to do what I've set you apart to do, Moses. It's not your ability. It's the great I am. Listen, in Galatians chapter 2, verse 20, Paul says something that's so profound. He says, it's not me who lives anymore. I've died, and now it's Christ who lives in me. I no longer live, but Christ now lives in me. It's not about my abilities. It's not about my accomplishment. It's not about my reputation. It's not about what I stand on. It's not about what I've done. It's about what Christ did. It's about Jesus, and it's about him, and it's about him wanting to use me. He says something else in Philippians chapter 3. He says, our stomachs have become our God, and our shame has become our glory. He's talking to a people who say, your stuff, your idols, your things have become your God. And the very shame that you walk in daily has become what you glory in. It's what you brag about. It's what you boast in. You boast in your stuff. You boast in your things. You boast in your accomplishments. You boast in all of these things, and it has become your God. God says, I am. I am God. I am the great I am. I am everything you'll ever need. We have to stop putting idols in front of I am. We have to stop putting ourselves before God, which we so often do. We so often do. I got a couple of lists. And this was one of the main things that Jason made me think about. And whenever he was talking about these things is this. And I found them. Man, it was powerful for me to read it again because it just means a lot. It's just a list of us putting ourselves before God and what that looks like. Every time we're prideful, we make ourselves big and make God small. When we're addicted, we say we got it. Our satisfaction is somewhere else, and God is not enough for us. And we make God small. When we're all jacked up on pleasure, we're saying it's all about now, and God and His eternal glory is lesser, and we make Him small. When all we talk about are things, we trade the glory of God for trinkets made by man, and we make God small. When we're vengeful, we say, I've got to make this right because I don't think God can, and we make God small. When we worry, we say, I'm going to control the outcome because I don't think God can, and we make God small. When we strive to be good enough for God by our works, we elevate our effort over His sacrifice, and we make God small. And when we're busy, when we're just too busy, we just say that our stuff is more important than how God wants to have a deep longing and a desire to have an intimate relationship with us in our lives. And we can make God small. The answer is us saying, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. It's about letting God bring to life everything that He created us to be and living through us and bringing Him glory. If you have a really big you and a small God, that equals a small life. Your accomplishments, your goals, your dreams, everything in your life will end up being really small. Even your best hopes and desires, if they come to pass, will still be small and insignificant. But if you have a really small you and an infinite I am, that equals a huge, abundant life. A life that you can't even dream of. That's why many people just like me can't get past this room, can't get past stuff and things, because our dreams and our prayers are focused solely around our little lives. And God says, I've got something so much bigger. I got something so much more impactful. I have something so much more divine that's waiting for you. And He's inviting you this morning to join Him. I got one more list. We're going to wrap it up. Maybe this is a prayer. Maybe this is something you've said. Maybe this is something you've thought. It's just a list. Maybe you thought all of them or maybe one of them, but just listen and hear me out. Because I think God has an answer for every one of us, and it's the same one. Maybe you said this, I need hope. I am. Who could be smart enough to figure all of these things out? I am. What works? What lasts? I am. What's the latest thing? I am. What's the hippest thing? I am. I need a fresh start. I am. I need a bigger story. I am. My vision is bigger than my resources. I am. Nothing is real anymore. I am. Who can I trust? I am. I'm not sure who's on my team. I am. Nobody's listening to me. I am. I don't have a prayer. I am. My marriage is sinking and I don't know where to turn. I am. I've always hoped for a marriage and a future, but I don't know what's to come or what's happening. I am. I can't hold on. I am. I'm pouring into others. Who's pouring into me? I am. If we fail, who will get the job done? I am. I'm not sure why I'm here today. I am. I've given all I can give and it's not enough. I am. I'm tired. I quit. I can't. I am. I need a drink. I need a fix. I am. I need a lover. I am. I just need somebody to hold me. I am. God says, I'm the first, I'm the last, I'm the beginning, I'm the end. Turn away from your idols and come to me. Follow me, love me. I I have a life for you. I have something that you've never experienced. I have something that's bigger than you could ever dream. Even though we're really small and we were on that little bitty planet, and every person who's ever lived here, and even the idea that you couldn't see your sun in our galaxy, much less your home or your business. You definitely can't see you. But even though God proves to us by the hugeness of his majesty that we're so small, he says, I'm inviting you into a relationship with me. Because in spite of that, in spite of those hundreds of billions of galaxies out there, you're my prized creation. You're what I want to love me. You're what I want to choose to follow me. And he's saying, I love you. I'm inviting you into my plan. What an honor. What a privilege. Could this be the morning that we stop insulting God with little prayers from little bitty lives and just come to him and say, God, I just give you everything. I want you to have everything. I want you to be everything. I want to give you my entire life, God. I'm done. Could this be the morning we start living out what we're created to do? Everything that we were created to do. Glorify God by honoring him. Listen, with the life that he chose to create. Of all the things, you say, I honored God by giving him the life that he created. And that's all he wants. To live out his purposes for your life. Because as we started out today, everything is created by him, is sustained by him, and it's for his glory. So whatever you're thinking about yourself today, whatever you thought about what you've gone, maybe you made a mess of things, maybe things are going on like that, God created you for his purposes and for his glory. No matter what. Just like he did those beautiful things that are way out there that we can't explain or wrap our minds around. He created you, and he thought of you. As he was piecing you together in your mother's womb, he laid out the plan of your life. And now he's giving you the ability to choose to follow that. Father, God, I thank you so much for this day. God, I thank you for the big things that we can't really understand. But God, I pray that you help us today not to just push them to the side like it's not real, like you're not that big, that you're not that worthy. That God, that you show us as we started out today, what an honor, what an amazing privilege it is today, God, that you're here in our presence. That you're inviting us into a relationship with you, that you're inviting us into something that's so much bigger than ourselves, that you're letting us know that we can make it about us and have really small lives, or make it about you, and the world is at our fingertips. God, I pray that you break chains, that you break bondages, that you break through calloused hearts, that God, you penetrate through things that have been built up for years this morning, and that you show us that you're worthy, that you're everything, and that our best prayer that we can think to pray pales in comparison to us just saying, God, you're the great I am, and here I am. God, I don't have to pray anything after that. Just here I am, God. I'm here for you. I'm giving my life to you. I want you to do whatever it is that you created through me. And that's it. God, and I pray that you start to open doors and you start to blow people away with your presence, with your spirit, with what you have for us, God. It's so much bigger. We can't think of it, God, so just give it to us. Just show us. Father, I pray for these next few minutes that you move in this place. And we'll give you the glory. It's in Jesus'